Um, Bwala, you are now a member of PDP, and suddenly you became a member. Sorry, you were a member of APC, and suddenly you became a member of PDP. And just as you became a member of PDP, you you were announced a spokesperson. Tell us, must have been were you not already a fifth columnist in APC before you became a member of PDP? Because you just joined a party and then they give you a position. So were you negotiating when you were a member of APC to become something in PDP before you switched gear? Because it is not easy for you to just move from another party to an established party like the PDP and suddenly, boom, they make you one of their chieftains. Please explain to
So,
us.
thank you, Mr. Omesai. This is one of those questions that I feel the press are not helping the polity when they push it forward rather than the issues that we're confronted with. However, I'm happy to answer the questions anyway. So this is my answer to the question. Number one, a political party has a right to change ideology. Members of the political party have a right to change political party. Just in the same way that every candidate running for post in Nigeria today has had to change a political party. Just in the same way that the voters could vote a particular political party and they feel disappointed, they will switch and vote to another in the next election. Just in the same way that all of us who are married today probably may have had relationships that we thought was going to work for us, and we invested ourselves into it. It didn't work. We changed our mind, moved forward, and we're now married to our spouses, and we're married happily. Just in the same way that the spokesperson of the other political party said egregious and incendiary words during the primaries when they were campaigning for a candidate other than the flag bearer, when I was supporting the flag bearer. And at the end of the day, the kinds of languages and talking points they raised against him, I don't even in PDP feel comfortable talking about it as a reason, because to me it's mundane. But today, they are his spokesperson. All of these examples I gave you is to suggest to you that in life, we have a reason to change at any given time where our ideological beliefs are now working in separate direction. Secondly, as to the immediate appointment as soon as I joined the party, this again tells you how effective PDP is and how ineffective APC is. PDP, all these years I've been defending APC. I don't think you assume that PDP are not watching me. And I don't think you assume that just because I was bashing PDP, they did not know of my usefulness. If I come right to TVC station tomorrow morning and I say I want to work in television, I can guarantee you I'll get an automatic job in TVC. Why? Because TVC must have assessed my performance over the years and must have come to that conclusion. There is a difference between somebody joining a party who is not known anywhere and given a position, and somebody who has been effectively performing and people can see and assess, and they get that job. That shows that PDP is more rewarding, and PDP is a party with equal opportunity and a party that does not have any limitation. It is also possible that because of the way APC is screwed in their mentality to think that in life, our progress is dependent on take a queue. When you come, they say you have to take a queue. Therefore, they will think when you come to the PDP, you should join a queue. In other words, PDP rather is looking at people that bring performance to the table, people that bring things that will change and add value to what they do. And even if you had come in the morning or in the afternoon, there will be a place for you to participate. And above all, Mr. Masai, in politics, it's a game. If a striker in Arsenal, for example, a prolific striker in Arsenal is so effective, and the striker in Arsenal said he's going to leave Arsenal Football Club, and Manchester United feels that striker is very useful, I'm telling you that Manchester United would not say we're going to buy him and put him in the bench. They will go for it to buy him and ensure that they put him on the striking position. So there was never a pre-negotiation on my behalf. Let me also tell you, Mr. Omasai, when I left the APC before I joined PDP, I got a call while I was in England from a former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that I've never had a conversation with. And he asked me to come and help him in building a political party other than this PDP I've gone to. I have never had any call from him. Assuming I obeyed him and I went, immediately I would have gotten the same position, and then you will be wondering why I got it suddenly.
Yes. Just as a follow-up, you said that everybody is right to change ideologies. What ideology did you change to from APC to PDP? I want you to explain. Now, you gave the metaphor of Arsenal and Man U. That is a transaction. That is transactional decision. That's nothing to do with any other thing than transaction. Did you move from APC to PDP because of a transaction?
Very good question. You see, transaction can be monetary and can be non-monetary. Transaction can be value-based, irrespective of money. I am a legal practitioner, and I know that a gift can be handed to somebody and a document will be signed as a transaction, and yet there is no money exchange. So let's get that one clear. But with respect to the first point, you talk about ideology. APC, fundamentally, whether they say it in words or not, by action, APC tilts towards a socialist leaning. And that is why in its core objective, you see social investment program in the front burner. And a socialist ideology is built on the premise that the society is poor, and therefore you need government intervention in virtually everything you do. When I supported APC, I did that because I thought, just like the way the president said, that Nigerian people are so poor that you need to first lift them out of poverty before you get to the next stage. But we noticed that all through these years of social investment, most of this intervention of government have ended up in private pockets. During the COVID, when we had this COVID intervention, money was raised from government, from foreigners and the rest. We saw how the COVID materials were stocked and hoarded in different parts of the country. And I can tell you, I can go on and on in that regard to tell you how the social interventions have not impacted on the lives of the people in a comprehensive way. On the other hand, the ideology of PDP is anchored on free enterprise, on growing the economy, on capitalism, if I will use the word. So they believe that the government should stop interfering in private affairs and allow market activities to be free. And that if government has to intervene, it should be responsible. Government should, as much as possible, give tax rebate, tax incentive. Government should allow small and medium enterprise to thrive. These are fundamentally the issues. So when I left, and then most importantly, because it is that part of ideology that had me change, diversity. APC over the years have not demonstrated diversity in its operation. If you go to the party, there are certain things you couldn't get. And a good example is what you have just talked about. How that I suddenly moved and I got an appointment in PDP. Then the question begs for why didn't I get it in APC? Thankfully, the presidential candidate of APC even offered that to me. But I still had to go because the decision they made to balance the ticket, the decision they make on the ticketing touched on my core belief about diversity. Diversity is a nation where every tribe, religion, and whatever differences that the people have are considered as differences, and then we manage them for the common good of all. I felt that in a country where you have the religious cut across almost half, 80 million Nigerians will feel they are not a part of the government when you're forming a ticket of a Muslim ticket. So when they did that, I felt, and I was going to be made a spokesperson, I felt I cannot be a marketer or salesperson of an idea that I do not subscribe to. And on the basis of this diversity, which I felt was not entrenched in APC, I decided to move to PDP, that is fundamentally known as a party that encouraged unity in diversity and encouraged the promotion of national unity. You see, Mr. Omasai, when you hear somebody say, I bear true faith and allegiance to the flag and the republic, it is a statement you make that you can die for the republic only if the republic can convince you that you're living in a nation where your right, your interests, and your life will be protected. We need a government that encourages diversity. It is on the premise of that I moved from APC to PDP, in addition to the fact that APC, even 7-8 years now, has not been able to perform, but rather has performed so poorly. Yesterday, Avash from World Bank said that Nigeria is moving towards an existential path if we do not reform our tax system, if we continue to borrow to pay for debt, and if we do not revamp our economy and remove subsidy. This is a World Bank. When you talk about insecurity, there is no part of this country where there is safety for people to live in, to raise their families, to do business, or to go to school. Our economy is impacted by even education. Our people are on strike, and a spokesman for the other party said that there is nothing the government can do. People should go and beg them. In fact, when he was asked about
Daniel.
insecurity, right, go ahead.